Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm unboxing a crowdfunded game that I backed a while ago called Odalin Dungeons of Doom by a company called Dragori Games. They're known for putting out another co-op adventure game called Tenaris Adventures. It's another big miniatures heavy campaign game. That one's more exploration, I guess, focused, whereas this is a narrative dungeon crawler. With a really cool dark desert theme. And the pull of it is you will be picking from several different heroes and then pairing those heroes with demons to unlock different abilities that you get to match. So one character with several demon options gives you a lot of choice in how you play, and then you make a team of four, up to four heroes. And then you do the usual dungeon crawl things. You explore, you find loot, you grow stronger. But the theme, the setting, um, the interesting story where you're using powers that should, that are evil, I guess, to try and do some good. You have to try and resist that corruption or maybe succumb to it, not sure. But let's start opening it up. First, we just have this pack, which is some cards that are supposed to go. There's an act 1 and act 2. This is an all-in, so I have both acts. And these are just some cards that were supposed to go in that Act 2, but didn't make it before the boxes were sealed. You'll see there's no shrink wrap on these. I did take the shrink wrap off, but I haven't opened the boxes yet. So we have those cards. We have this D20. I know there was there were things you could get if you followed the campaign. And then if you followed the campaign and backed on day 1, then you would get something. There was this character that was supposed to be a gift, and then they ended up just giving them to everybody. It's actually really nice. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Well, you can see it's got this really nice sparkling, glowing effect like amber almost, or something on the inside. I like that. Anyway, so they had this guy, K-Rune, who was originally going to be like a day 1 thing, I think, if you followed the campaign, and then it turned out they just gave them to everybody. So then they had like other stuff. So I don't know. Some people get that die and other people don't. And I can't remember what the exact reason is for that. But so this is like a character board. So there'll be boards in here that these slot into. So then you have their different abilities, some backstory, some cards. And the miniature. There's a slot in the box for this guy to go. Why are you not focusing? There we go. All right, so he has a lot of cloaks. It's pretty nice. You can see they got this like nice detail in the bases. Stone effects, not just flat. I really like when there's textures to the base. So there's that. Then we have some acrylic tokens. These were not part of the all-in, but there was like some other backer gift thing that if you got a there's like an Abaddon model, and if you got an all-in you got an Abaddon, but if you backed day 1 you got an Abaddon. So they're like So yeah, anyway, these are supposed to have like most of the tokens that you need. There's like, these are the different conditions that'll happen, and then there's some ones that people wished were in here that weren't, and as a consequence, Dragori has decided they're going to manufacture more tokens and add them to an update kit that they're sending all the backers to deal with some different manufacturing errors in the cards. Some cards have like the wrong name or the wrong image or something, and so they're fixing all that, which is really nice. This is a Hell Dragon. There's some crossover stuff here if you have the Tenaris game. And then there's stuff to use it in Odalin, I guess. So there's that, and let's see, there's some dashboards. Those are for Tenaris down there. So it's not just the dragon that has crossover content, but it's some of the characters from the game as well. That's really cool. Chest, it has to have a skull on it, of course. Some poor unfortunate soul being impaled on a rock. Some nice detail. You could have gotten this painted or with a wash called Sundrop, but I decided I would paint it, and also I wasn't supposed to back this because I told myself not to, and then I ended up backing it all in, so I justified not getting things painted as a way to save money. So we're going to go into the main box. Ooh. Dark Fantasy Dungeon Crawler for 1 to 4 players. Alright. So this does come with Foreteller, which is where they record narration and music to go along if you don't feel like reading the different journal entries. Some people don't like reading. Other people do. And then this is another game that they're coming out with. They did a campaign called Spell Rift. There's a Tenaris Expeditions, which is like an ocean-themed one that's adjacent to the Tenaris game. It's not part of that game, but it's the same world. So you can see this is a really nice render. It's not a picture of a model. Let's check that out. Could be fun. I don't know. Baggies, rulebook. I feel like they're printing a new book. I'm not sure. There's definitely like their components listed in here that aren't correct, or whatever, but you can see it's a rule book. I don't really know how to go through this and tell you if it's good or not until I've read it. There's that. So you'll see like during the game, lots of mystery boxes are in here, and you're gonna unlock cards and stuff. And you'll track different things, different choices that you've made. In theory, like you can play this a few different times in a few different ways with different characters, and the different characters have different stories, and then you can make different choices. The designer, Michael, said that he wanted the game to feel like any route you took was rewarding and fun, not just pushing you to be good or evil or something, where like some games it's just doesn't, like there's an obvious path it wants you to take. This one, he wants you to feel like you can take any of them. These are the tiles. There is a pack of extra tiles involved in this. I saw, I'm just opening the shrink. I saw some gameplay of this on YouTube, and there are these clips inside here that will connect different tiles together so that they don't get separated on the table, which I just think is so good. Sorry, there. All right, sorry. This is not a good quality video, but I am trying a few new things from before. I have like an arm thing on my table. I have some lights set up. We'll see these are double-sided. I like that they have the spike traps integrated and the portals integrated. Part of one of the biggest downsides of Daenerys, I would say, is the setup time. You generally take a blank board and you have to set up all these elements for the scenario that you're playing. And as a consequence, it can take a really long time. Now, this game has come with a storage box. It claimed to be an all-in storage box, but you need these two boxes, and so sorting it all to make it hopefully easy to play could be a challenge, but I know they just recently posted a PDF on how to sort everything. So lots of tokens here. These are supposed to be purple. They're going to be purple once that update pack arrives, but they delayed it so that they could add a bunch more fixes. There are some models in here that I guess have pretty bent parts that they feel were a little too much for the end user to fix. So very nice of them to change that. But there's those, and then there's some tokens that are supposed to be on here that aren't, to represent the number of actions that your character has during his turn or her turn. And in the meantime, like, we can just use coins or something, which is totally fine. Then we've got some of the characters. This is what the draw for me is. The characters all seem like really cool. Daenerys has a lot of characters, and a lot of them seem really compelling. And I find myself not knowing who I want to play as because they all seem like they'll be fun. Like we have this guy, and we have like this guy. He's a paladin, sure, but he's got that desert themed look that it just, I don't know, it seems really cool. And maybe his story is really fascinating. Got this priestess, this demon hunter. She looks like your quintessential Diablo demon hunter. But people love that character, and they're a lot of fun to play. So this guy's probably one of my main ones I want to try because I've grown up playing the Prince of Persia games, even the old 2D side-scrolling one on DOS way back in the day. I played that. And then this guy, of course. There aren't many games with elephant people. And so they used him a lot in the promotional material. There's a thing with skulls. They have like this, they love skulls so much. And so skulls are everywhere. Skulls and, yeah. But she's a necromancer. She can summon an undead. I guess she used to summon lots of pets, but like I really like pet classes, so like I want to play her, and I want to have him, and I want to have him. And there are a bunch of expansion. There are a couple of expansions, but there are a bunch of new characters, like 8 more characters that come with this, and like some of those are really really cool too. These are just tokens you're going to put in the character boards to show different stat bonuses as your character grows. Okay, and then now we've got some models, it looks like. I really need to check these out, make sure the bases, some of these bases, so you'll see like they have this guy, right? He's got a blue circle, and then this guy is the same model, but his blue is a hex. So that's important in like telling like who's at what health level when you have multiple versions of this model on the board. So some of the standouts for me that I've seen before are like these beetles. That is a lot of teeth. And the spines are kind of weird. It might make it hard to paint. I don't really know what the point of those would be, but you know, he looks menacing. Um, there were some people feeling like these models weren't very good, and they are, you know, they're PVC models, which makes them less expensive. But you can see, like, if we zoom in, you know, like look at the face. Sorry, let me try and. You can see the face is really soft. It is cloth, right? You might argue, oh, it's cloth, but like, you know, this model, you can see it's kind of flat, whereas this one, right, has all this stuff going on detail wise, and this one just seems a little, I don't know, it's a little bland comparison, but you know, a good paint job can often help you when you have that situation. Got these snakes. Apparently the spiked back thing is a theme. Got a bunch of those. We've got these viper folk. I think the first scenario you play, you have to fight a bunch of these. And so, like, for an introductory villain, you know, this is pretty neat. Interesting to try and paint this. You can see there are mold lines. Like, they can't pay the factory workers to sit and scrape those off. They have to already sit and glue like you know, I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of these things they have to glue together. But you'll see, like, sometimes you get joins like this that are just not that great, and that's just not. It's not really feasible to expect perfection from these. Um, you have to look at it from a whole, and you can see like the design is cool. The way that they have all these, like the tail going in there, um, even though like you'd have to hold the model up and look at it to really appreciate that. But like once it's on the board, right down here, you don't really notice. So you can see they put a lot of work into things that maybe no one would even look at. So we're going to look at them, and we're going to tell Dragori we appreciate it. And whoever sculpted it, that we appreciate the little things. Here's another warrior. See, like, this is bent. This is easy to fix. You just either boiling water, or my wife recently bought a heat gun, which is basically just a overactive hair dryer. And you can straighten that out, but like, look at that. 4-armed warrior with this cool tail. Really like this. What's this? Some kind of whip lady. Dancer. So not all of them, like the heroes, get texture bases maybe, but like some of these won't. But that's fine. There are a lot of products that help you base things. And they've used in the past colored clip-ons to denote the color or orientation of the model. Like this is a red one, right? Or this is a purple one. And instead they just went to put the colors on the bases. So these will end up getting primed. I'll just repaint the color on them somehow. If you prime them, right? If you just prime them sitting like this, then you just have to turn them over and you'll know what color they are. For painting, we showed that guy. This guy. This guy's cool. He reminds me of a character from the Sign Tempor game that who did Ludus Magnus made, called the Bully. I don't know, there's something classic about a dungeon crawler where you have some fat butcher-like demon who, of course, as we know, has to have skulls. This guy's tame on the skulls. He only has the two. His skull and his sword. Of course there is. But that's really good. And this is another one. I think this is one of the demons that you can bind with, Beelzebub, if I'm not mistaken, but it's not. Most of the demons are quite large, whereas this is a medium one. And like the cool thing with the demons is that if you fill a track a certain amount, then you can transform into a demon form for a turn. Ooh. Yeah. So you can see like there's texture in the cloak here. Like they went the extra mile on this guy. So he must be some kind of boss or character, but I really like that too. Oh, there are two of them, so it can't be like boss. Yeah, here's one that's worth looking at for the bend, right? So you can see like this weapon is just, it's flimsy. It just happens with this kind of, these are made of PVC. And it just happens that they bend. And you can straighten them out. But if it's bent right between the hands, that can be a challenge, especially if you're trying to fix it with boiling water. So I'm curious if this is one of the ones that might get altered. I'm not sure, but like let's ignore that for now and look at this is like this angelic warrior. And I'm pretty sure this was like a stretch goal that they talked about. They like put polls up and we made decisions and they designed it based on those decisions. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like you can see, like he has multiple arms. It seems like a theme. Multiple arms, like they're Viper folk. And then there's this guy, like I don't know. It's just really nice, cool design. What do we have? Let's look at this. The interesting thing is, right, you might play this game and go through the whole thing, and there are some models that you might not even encounter all that often. But they're like, we're going to put a model for it in the game, and we're going to make it look awesome. Like, there's way more going on, right? And there are like 4 of these. There's so much going on. And it might make you, if you're a painter, like I'm a painter and I'm really slow at it, but you might look at this and be like, oh, like it's too much. But at the same time, like, it's just something cool about it. Something I appreciate. We've got this couple of mummies that look like came out of a cartoon, like a Saturday morning cartoon with these giant fists or whatever. But, you know, I'm here for it. They're nice. They'll be easier to paint this way. You can see, like, there's quite a bit of texture. Sorry, I'm bouncing my camera. Quite a bit of texture on the wrappings and stuff. It's a little hard to see on camera and not primed in this like tannish gray color. But it is there. Got this guy, more multiple arms type people. These, like, I don't even know what's going on with these or who this is. Oh, it's got one of those cool like Justiciar faces that's like would rotate or something. I really like that. It's fun. This guy doesn't want to come out, but I want him to. They definitely love skulls, and they definitely love flowing cloaks too. And then the last one to look at for this tray is this creature, which looks suitably terrifying. I'm playing a lot of Souls-like games, and these are the kind of enemies that you think, oh, it's just whatever, and then it like kills you instantly with some kind of crazy flying attack that you're not prepared for. This weapon is a little disappointing, just because the blade is like merging into the shaft there, and there isn't a lot of like separation between it. I can paint that out, but when I prime this, it probably will not look as clean. Like this um, little raised bit is all I have to really go on. So the rest of the model is really cool. But yeah, that weapon's it is what it is. It'll look fine once it's on the board. Okay. One level down. I think this is the most intricate level. We'll see what's under here. There are going to be a lot of cards under here. Yeah, we got some cubes to track our stats. We've got this, which is the campaign book. I have to say, I'm a huge fan of this size of campaign book. Let's see. So, like, here's the rule book, right? And you can see the campaign book fits, right? It fits in your hand. The journals in Tenaris are like huge and thick, and like you can't really hold them comfortably. And when you put them on the table, right, they just take up more room. I have the luxury of a 6-foot by 4-foot table that I use for tabletop war games. And so a lot of my board games fit well, but some of them, like Tenaris, like you use all the space, and I just think like if you don't have that space, then what are you supposed to do? So a book that size is actually really nice. I'm going to pull this up. So we have in here our heroes, and these are a couple of the demons. I'm sorry, I was going to look up all the names of the demons so that I could tell you like what they are or maybe like what they're like, but like this is a model, right? You would take your hero, this is the shaman, right? And she does some attacks or some skills that build up corruption or power or something. I think it's power. Where you kill certain enemies from a certain alignment and you gain power from doing that. And then when it's at a certain threshold, then you transform. You replace your model with this, which is functionally maybe there's no point. Do you really need to? Other than maybe the size on the board will matter. But like it's awesome. Like it's just fun. So like cool, good job. Like I'm really excited about this. Like this person transforms into this person. And because there are so many demons, I think, I don't know, like there's at least 8 or more, right? Like this character with this demon will play differently than this character with that demon. So this is like, look from afar, it's wings, but it's like they look like they're made out of wood and roots and bark. And there are demons that are like, different roles for healing or defense or attack. So, I'm excited. This is the sorcerer. I think it's Rakshasa. He's a tiger person. And one of the things I really like about the models Dragori makes is when they do stuff like this. right, with these spell effects. Because like imagine if like this wasn't here, this fire. I think the model would be good. Anyway, the fact that this is here, it's just like so much cooler. Um, and so particularly wizards with those spell effects are my favorite. But like you'll get models like this. This is that necromancer, right? You can tell because skulls and like she has this little spell effect, but otherwise, there's not a ton going on. But it's just like I don't know. They do a sort of classic tropey fantasy in Daenerys, and they just do it so well that I like it. Doesn't feel tired or anything. So like even looking at this, I like it. Like I don't feel like oh this has been done so many times. Um, and so like they just this like all these characters to me are cool, and I would play any of them. And so yeah, this is the guy, the Prince of Persia guy. This awesome billowing cloak. This is I don't know what this is supposed to be. I think it's like a pile of gold and treasure. There's a lot. There's not as much definition as maybe you would like for that, but let's see. Is that a scabbard? Does it match the shape? This? It kind of does. Mostly does. Anyway, yeah. He's some kind of like prince that the kingdom gets overthrown by the bad guys. And so he escapes. I think he'd be cool. Here's our demon hunter. Our wonderful elephant man, Tuscan. Tuscan? I don't know. See, there's a lot going on with the knee pads, the armor. A lot of areas that, like this trunk, they could have left flat, probably, but they didn't. And so it looks nice. It's not bad. Like there's another game called Storm Sunder Wild Ascent where the models are just like the details are so deep that I feel like painting them would be a chore. Let's see if I can zoom in on this face. Usually the faces are really soft, and like this person's neck seems a little too long, but it's not bad, the face on this one. The hands are always soft, especially with PVC because they're so small. And they didn't do what's called heroic scale, where they exaggerate the hands and the head and stuff. It's more like a true scale, which means it looks small and not as detailed. But like I feel like you can look at this and it's like, oh, it's a priestess. Like we've seen how many priestesses in the past, but it's just quite well done, and so I don't mind, and I like it. I like the hair, and of course billowing cloaks, but like you know, no skulls. I'm sure they were thought about. How could we get some skulls on this? And they had to decide not to. And there's this guy, the paladin. Like this looks so good. The shield is cool. Right? It's like taking a character like a classic fantasy character class and just a slight adjustment to the style based on where he's from, and it's like a new thing. So yeah, he is good, and I think that's it. Yeah, these are the things I was talking about, that the tiles will go under and then connect so they don't like move around, which is very nice. Okay. I'm making a mess, but I'm having fun. So onward we go. This is just like character trays. So we have our tray with our maximum health, I guess, power and corruption, and then you just take one of these and stick it in there. And they fit, which is nice because sometimes these games come and like the tolerance is wrong and they didn't catch it and the thing doesn't fit. This is a little bent already thanks to the humidity in here, but with the not humidity. And then yeah, there are like those little square tokens with all the numbers. They slide in here and tell you like your bonuses and stuff. And under there is some dice. So there's just a plain D20, but we have our fun D20. I do have some deluxe dice somewhere, but yeah, these are nice. And then under that, we have got a bunch of cards. I don't want to open them for this. There are other videos where people go through the cards so you can look at them. But what I will do, I think, if it's easy, there we go. What's cool is there are these cards. So these would be like the demonic cards. And they have like a top half on some or a bottom half. And then there'll be like, this hero card. And say you took this hero and this demon, you'll like put these together and then put them in a sleeve and craft this into a card that has two uses. So that's how they represent which demon you've chosen with the hero that you've chosen. And so they're these, yeah, I think that's really fun. I like that there's going to be a lot of customization of characters, set bonuses, other stuff, just a lot of good things. Yeah, Beelzebub. He was one of the demons that you could join with. And then we've got a bunch of items, a bunch of stuff for like what the bad guys do. I think they call them villains in Daenerys. If they do the same, it'll be villains here. We have some mystery boxes. One of them was spoiled accidentally on an update, and they took it away. And I saw it, and I tried so hard not to see it, but anyway, it seems like there's some really good stuff. And then I'm just gonna check this out. So in Daenerys, the last campaign, they sent on the backside of one of the reference cards an advertisement for this game, which I knew was coming. I told myself, don't back it. You do not need more models to paint. You do not need more campaign games that you aren't playing all the way through. But then on the promotion was this. No, I had to have him because I'm weak and I like the company and I like the games. And I'm even probably not even gonna like keep it like this fire. I'm just gonna prime this and paint it like I can because I have an airbrush. And fire's decently easy to do with an airbrush, but I don't know why it's not the most impressive model I own. Definitely have cool models. It's just like the transparent plastic or the translucent plastic and just the look of him and the dynamic, effect of the fire just draws the eye. And of course they did it, I'm sure, on purpose, right? They were like, we're going to make this cool and people are going to just want it. And it worked. Okay. Like Dragori people, if you're watching this, yeah, you got me. There's this guy. This is the kind of guy that you see in a game and you just think like, what is life like for you when you're not having some hero come try and take you out? Like, what is it like having to sit, having to eat, having to sleep with like all this going on? Like, it would just be a nightmare. And so, like, look at the poor guy's face. That guy looks so tired. Hollow eyes, sunken cheeks. He's probably just like, ugh, like I just, someone kill me or chop these off. I don't know his story, but another chest. I feel like a lot of these have chests on the bottom. Not really sure like what's going on with that strap. Not being connected to anything. Doesn't make any sense. Well, whatever. Oh, another one. See, like they're carrying the loot around with them. He's carrying around this loot. He's like, just please someone. Like, look, there's loot. Just help me. But this way, that way. And here is another demon who has a it's okay, like skulls everywhere. Like, did she stop? Does she stop every now and then and just like drop a bunch of skulls on her dress and then stand there looking cool as long as she can before she has to move again and like mess up that whole that whole setup? Oh, and she's done it here. Like, do they follow her around? Do they roll on the floor? Please tell me if you are watching this and you're from Dragori and I can't remember the name of the guy, Clayton. I think it's Clayton from Dragori. What are you picturing here with this poor woman? Like, how does she get around with all this? Are they attached? Are they rolling? Did they just like appear? Should I paint these like they're some kind of like ethereal skulls? Either way, very cool. And she reminds me of the villain from Diablo 4 a little. Yeah, sure. Just something. Anyway, so this was the core box. And I have to say, I'm quite pleased. I'm sorry I keep knocking the camera. I'm very excited to play the game, to try it out. There were a number of like pictures and stuff of the models, and some of them looked really bad. But I think it was just the cameras. I'm hopeful that this camera is giving you a good sense of how things really look. So here we've got a bunch of the stuff from the All-In. And then I think this box also has the Act 2 content. So Act 2 is almost like a separate game. It continues the story from Act 1, but it's like if you just got Act 1, you would have a full and complete story. So I like that there's a dice tray. I don't need a dice tray. But it's nice to have, and it came with the All-In. And the nice part is it's not one of those neoprene ones. This snap right here, not great. Takes a little extra force. And then this one doesn't want to hold, but it might once we get everything together. Really like padding the clock here. Give me 1 second. It's just stiff because it's new. There we go. Yeah. That. Okay. In the dice tray. Trying to look through the camera to see what I'm seeing. Yeah, you can read that, right? Pretty good. The gold on the red is it's a little hard to read, but yeah, it's a good dice tray. Snaps, maybe not so good. Maybe they'll get worked in. This is like a map. I don't know. Campaign stuff. I think you have to like. There's like a city, and the city was taken over by bad guys, and then you have to escape, or some of your characters escape, and then um, you're joining with these demons, and then maybe you have to come back and maybe reclaim what was lost. Here, these are like the additional tiles. I'm not gonna open them all, I think, because like, yeah, skeleton piles of skeletons makes the scenery much crunchier. Here we've got in here. There's a couple expansions, so there's like a warrior expansion and a wizard or caster expansion. So, like this is one of the characters that I don't know, I'm really curious to play as. But then there's also this like dude riding a raptor. And there's this there's this Death Knight character who's basically a Chaos Warrior. And like I've never been the biggest fan of Chaos Warriors, but it's kind of fun. Yeah, Balin. Uh, not the Lord of the Rings Balin, but a Dragori Balin riding a dinosaur. Because if you want to make someone cool, you just put them on a dinosaur. This guy looks like, oh, he's the High Priest. Like, look, like he's just sort of, old man wizard guy. Nothing is as crazy different compared to this, but they just do it well. Sleeing the elf wizard. So 4 more characters. What did we have in the base game? I think 6 heroes plus plus this guy, who I think uses other characters' abilities or something. Plus another 4 characters. Plus all the demons that you can choose from. I think there are 4 more demons in this box to go with the 6 or 7 from the Act 1 box. I feel like this guy's in Daenerys. I'm not sure though. She looks like the other guy, maybe a little different. I feel like some of the names, if I'm being critical of Dragori, like this Iridia, like there's a game. It's not spelled the same, but there's a game called Iridia that came out not long ago from crowdfunding. Really good, really popular, according to reviews. And so, like you see this and you kind of go like, ugh. And then there's like another guy, this guy Mordak, like this is the Chaos Warrior. But I have a game called Valor and Villainy, Minions of Mordak. And so he's this like goofy summoner guy who tries to steal the throne. And so that's what I picture whenever I see this name. Like I see like Mordak, and I'd like replace this with some like really goofy cartoon Saturday morning villain. But, I could learn to like this, maybe. There are a lot of skulls. We discussed that on Discord. This guy and the spikes and the skulls is like it's a whole thing. And then Lyria. She just looks angry, and she just looks like she wants to hit things. So interested to see. Black Knight. So I think that's a new class that you get to have if you have that expansion. Looks like there might not be a reason to open this. Oh, it's just a tray. Yeah, it's just a tray. But yeah, we've got our other campaign book. So like it is pretty thick. but it's also not like it's because it's the smaller size. It tells me like it's not. It might be approachable. Like I might actually play all this. My understanding is it's still going to take like a really long time to play through it all, especially if you take your time. Ooh. But like it's more palatable. I just want to look at that. There's just something about like an angel type thing with no face that, like if you've played Diablo, then you know that. That is cool. And let's check out the art. Sorry. You get all this unfiltered, poorly edited version of this unboxing. So, art book. So, this is, when you pick your character in Diablo, this is what you see, right? They're all gathered around a campfire, and you click on one and it walks forward. So, we get that. There's a definite influence here. Just angry. Oh. Okay, we need to get closer to this. Isn't that beautiful? Props to the artist. I just said props out loud and ironically, and I don't like it. But whoever did this, like, so good. I like that they're just in the background where this Viper folk is like, hey, like, look at me, but, ignore those people. Or like they're just oblivious to what's happening behind them. Yeah, that's the cover art. You're being watched. That's the cover art for Act 2. This is what's in the dice tray. So some kind of circle of torment or something going on. Oh, dice tray goes this way. People who are just generally up to no good. I don't know if I was like in a fantasy world. I feel like I wouldn't want to join that kind of a club, and I don't know who would. Ooh, that looks fun. It's the place you want to go one day. Oh, one of the beetles. Oh, they're much bigger than you would think, right? Oh, sorry. Sewers. I'm going to go a little faster, but honestly, I could just sit here and stare at a lot of this, except for it's the same thing, right? Yeah, it's the same thing with different lighting, different stuff. Sword. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know if I like it. Feels like a padding, but it's also interesting to see it from the same. Yeah, even the people are back there. Maybe they started with one version and then they ended with another and forgot that they were both in here. Okay, that's. Now we're getting. Now we're just. Now it's just. It's just a joke. I think I missed one. Oh, nice. He gets his own blurb. How come nobody else gets a blurb? Is it because he looks too generic and they're like, we need people to fall in love with that guy? Maybe it's just not related. There's our four-faced guy. This is really good because it'll help me with painting. I tend to paint these sorts of games according to the art if I can. Not always, but there's the angel with the really bent spear. Cool guy. So I'm hoping this is a model then somewhere, since everything else is. Oh no. Oh no, lion guy. There's our mummy friend with his oversized arms. Oh, that was also a. Now that I think about it, he was also a goal, like a. We voted on the style and stuff of an undead mummy with scarabs. Oh, the viper folk. There's that guy with the weapon that's a little vague. Sandworm. You always gotta have a sandworm in your desert game. It's like a rule. There's that hell dragon. Oh, good. Different demons. Yep, this is one of the demons too. Strange. There's that guy. A sad double giant snake shoulder life. Rob. Hello, my name is Rob. Oh no, she's so sad. Oh, it's no fun. Yeah, look at this art. It's really good. That guy, he's got problems. Life is not kind to him. If you have a nice chest, you have to show it off. That's like a rule too, I think. Old Hazel, I think, is her name. Yeah, there's a guy who did some battle reports and played her voice, and I just now I'm hearing it in my head when I look at her. Alright, here are our models for different parts of Act 2. We get to take our K-Rune model, and there he goes. He is in there. Now we're going to look. This is our other necromancer, in case you don't want to play as the one they gave you. Here's our alternate female paladin, who is way less cool as a sculpt than the other one. It's not handy, so I can't really show you, but I don't know, I feel like this is a little like it's good, but they're just it's okay. Let's put these two next to each other. Right, she has some shield stuff, but other than that, look at all this going on. I don't know what's going on with the waist there. If that's intentional or nope, I'll have to fix that. But yeah, I don't know. Some models just get a little more attention than others. It's not a unique problem to this game or company. And then there's the problem with they've made this guy, and nobody else is on a dinosaur, right? So how do you resist? How do you resist this? I think you don't. I think you just make an excuse, any excuse, to include him in your team. This is that elf wizard. Your cloaks are extra billowy. And if we imagine them lying not billowing, then they are dragging in the dirt a lot. And we question her choices of outfit because it just doesn't make any practical sense. Maybe she just maybe she's got one of those people where the wind is always going. She doesn't have to worry about it. See, the model for this is like really nice. You know, our painfully generic priest guy, and yet I would play him just because I like this model. I don't know what it is. I think it's the hair, and I don't know. It's just like it's just cool. There's just something good about it. Oh, I love this. Look at this guy. This is the dwarf, and he is as he should be. Wow. Sometimes the dwarves are like too tall, right? But like, look at this guy. It'd be. I just thought it'd be funny if like this was upside down, but it's not. That's good. Just that hammer. Yeah. You take like a character that you might go like in a game, you'd be like, I don't want to play a tank or something, and then they make it cool. And then you want to play it. Sure, that goes in like that. Here's our Mordak. Skulls and spikes. Just the way they like it. A little bit of a bent thing there. So far, like, my stuff hasn't been bent as much as I've seen in other ones. So I'm grateful for that. But at the same time, like, I can fix that really easily. So I wasn't worried about it. Just wonder, like, what's going on that so many models are apparently bent so bad they felt like they had to recast and send them to us. This is that lion guy. Is it? No. Oh, tentacles. Oh no. Yeah, I've seen this before, and when I saw it on a video, I was like, that arm of hers is too long. Right? But actually, it was the sword that I was seeing. I thought like this was her hand because it was like this, right? Like kind of fuzzy and far away, and you think like she's like doing this with her hand. But no, she's holding a sword with a perfectly proportional hand and arm. That makes sense. So it's just another example of how sometimes, right, you see something on a video and it's just, it looks bad and you think, oh, like, it's not going to be good. Than it is. We got more elephant people, much smaller than the elephant hero, and yet still fabulous. A lot of mold lines on this one. We aren't afraid of mold lines, though, are we? And yet we have, so far, like, as far as I can tell, all the bases are good. We had some people where, like, they'd have a red circle base, and this is supposed to be a hex, but they get a circle one again. So, a lot of good detail. Tattoos and things, like, see on, like, Hellboy or other stuff. Really hope that if I prime this, I don't mess up the detail or make it too hard to see. I usually prime my models black because I don't use speed paints or anything. And the black helps with the making the model look the way I want, but it makes it hard to see. These are cool. The flames, they're dancing. And then these are really interesting. I think painting them is going to be, I don't know. But I like when multiple models are on a base. It just looks like a lot of fun. Like whoever like sculpted that and put it together, I feel like was having a lot of fun. Like a head or totem. He looks properly like boss-like or villainy. you know, the type that nobody understands, and he's doing what he's doing because he thinks it's going to help everyone. Something really is just the worst. I've seen a number of these ones where it's a little bent, right? It's hard to tell on this one, but like, yeah, this one's a little more bent. Like it's just because it's hitting this arm and then it's being bent at that point from there on. Not very much. Not enough, I think, that I would care to fix it. Some nice skulls. Okay, anything else from this one that we haven't looked at? I don't think so. So let's pull you out. Not sure how I'm going to get all this back in, but there is a guide online now, which you can find if you are a member of the Discord. It's pinned. If you're not, I think they'll probably post it in an update. I wouldn't be surprised. So here, this whole tray was an add-on if you didn't get the all-in. So there's deluxe dice, which I got because, of course, I got the all-in. I didn't really pick add-ons. Other than I got acrylic tokens for free instead of an extra. There's like an Abaddon down here. So I really like this dice. And then there's a bunch of, like, this stuff is like 3D scenery. And like, look, like if you're going to make a door, you know, you might as well go all out and make that door awesome. I don't know about you, but watching doors open, intricate doors open in my fantasy games is really satisfying. And if I had to guess, it's the same for the sculptor. These are hard to get out. There's an anvil. You can just see, right? Like there's a lamp. That's like a campfire. Some chests. I feel like these are a little hard to get out, so I don't want to do them all. Maybe this is like a, I don't know, recall stone or portal stone or something. There's some little traps here. Some barrels. If your game doesn't have barrels to smash, then really what's the point? Oh, yes. So, more mystery boxes. I'm tempted to open one, like this one, because it's wider than the others, just to see what's in there. And there was that sheet from earlier that was saying, like, cards from the mystery boxes or whatever, but I'm not going to. Sorry. There's just some cards. Bunch more cards and sleeves, and that's fine. That's not why we're here. This is why we're here. Is that tape? Oh, there's tape. None of the other ones had tape. Dragori, why? Now my unboxing is ruined. It's not. I ruined it a long time ago. With my rambling. Alright, here we go. So, look at this. Even have them coming out of a portal. I don't feel like I saw this portal part. Admittedly, a lot of the times I buy these games without like examining everything until after the fact. And then I'm like, what did I buy? And I look at it to try and confirm, that I made the right decision rather than look at it first to decide if it is the right decision or not. This guy, he's okay. He'll be good painted. He only has 4 skulls. Oh, wait, here, 4, 8, 9. Okay, right? He's got the skulls there, but like, where are they on his body? Could have been a big one right there. Clayton, what's wrong? What happened? All right, this is another demon. There's like lust and wrath and, you know, your typical 7 deadly sins type ones. It's not something going on with that. If you ever get models like these and like you see something like this and you're just like, I don't like it and I want to redo it, you can just stick them in the freezer. It makes the crazy glue or super glue that they use brittle. And you can usually break the models apart without breaking the components. Because like these are cast in pieces, and then the people in the factory sit there in an assembly line putting them together, which would just drive me like so insane. Whoever does that, like people at Starry, the factory who made these, you know, hats off to you guys, because I like assembling models, but the same model. Can you imagine just like gluing the same part over and over and over and over again? And you have to try and be consistent. But all right, this is a Manticore. I have other Manticore models from other games, but this one is really nice. Really nice. Lots of detail. Of course, the bigger models always can have lots more detail. And then this is Abaddon, I think, who I almost would have had 2 of, except I switched one for acrylic tokens. And as is tradition, we put our skulls on our clothing. And then he challenges you to make fun of him about it. All right. So I think that's everything. Hopefully you've been able to see clearly the models and the components, and that this, it made sense what I was talking about. Um, this is a big game. It kind of comes and you're just like, you look at it all and you think, oh my gosh, like what have I done? This is too many models. And then another part of you thinks, I could probably use a few more models, actually. But yeah, that's Odalin Dungeons of Doom. I'm not going to do an unboxing for the update stuff. It doesn't matter. I don't think there are models that I need. Like something must have happened with some people's that they got so bent. But anyway, I think overall, my first impressions of the components are good. I know that there are mistakes. There are tokens not in the acrylic token pack that they're going to send. There are tokens missing, none of which affects the gameplay. There are cards with some like swapped names or images. None of that affects gameplay. So my first impressions are I am happy that I got this, and I'm excited to try. The things I've read from people who've been playing say that it's good, and that's really at the end of the day what we are after is a fun gameplay experience. So I think I'm going to try and do maybe a review of the game. That would mean I have to play it a lot. I feel like I have to play it at least a few times. Tell you, I've never done a review, but I don't know. I just feel like I want to do something with this game. I'm not getting a lot of Kickstarters in anymore. They're just trickling in the last several. So like opening things is fun, but I need other things to make videos about. So I think I'll play this, do some first impressions, and go from there. There is a guy doing a playthrough, um, and it's fun to watch, but I don't think I would do voices, so mine wouldn't be as interesting. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you have already gotten your copy and you have opened it and liked it, that's, I'm glad. It's exciting to hear about all the people who are also like getting this, being excited and posting about it. And if you haven't backed it and you're interested in knowing if it's something you would want to seek out on like the secondhand market or something, like, leave a comment, whatever. I don't care about that stuff very much. I just make the videos to make the videos. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video and you have a great day and you have some games of your own to enjoy. So thanks for watching.